Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Walking Dead video. So in this one here, I wanted to talk about the trailer for The Ones Who Live episode 2 and yeah, give some predictions as to what I think is going to be happening in this episode. This episode is going to be airing next Sunday. Yeah, obviously throughout the week here, there's a lot of videos I do have planned. I'm going to be breaking down the opening credits. There's a lot of stuff with the CRM. There's a lot of things in the premiere that we learned about the whole world and everything. So I'm going to be doing a lot of videos breaking down all that stuff. So if you want to get all my videos on all of that, then definitely make sure to be a subscriber. And also, if you are interested in supporting the channel, there is a join button down below where I do post like a vlog type video, sort of updating you guys on just thoughts on things and whatever. If you're interested in supporting me, I'd really appreciate, again, all the support and stuff. I'm so thankful for. If you do decide to support me on the channel here and to support everything I'm doing here, again, just thank you so much for all of that. But yeah, before we go any further, obviously, be aware that this will contain spoilers for episode 1, so I hope you guys are all aware of that. Yeah, I guess that's all I really have to say at this point. I also want to mention, I'll mention this now, I'll just kind of mention it today in like today's videos because I just want you guys to know. So I will talk about spoilers and all that once the episode is actually out on cable. Once it's officially been released and it's like over, like after an hour or whatever of once it airs, then I will be talking about spoilers and all that kind of stuff. You know, I'll talk about like scenes that have happened and all that. So I just wanted to kind of say that just so you guys know, because I mean, I'm kind of waiting all day. I'll post my reviews and all that. I'll really make it non-spoilery as possible, but once the episode's out and everyone can watch it, like, yeah, obviously I'm going to post videos on like topics that people want to sort of, you know, see, and oh, this thing happened in this episode, I want to know more about it, kind of thing, right? So yeah, so I just wanted to say that. So obviously this video will contain spoilers for episode 1, but let's get into episode 2 here. So this episode is titled Gone, and if you didn't know, the first 3 episodes are titled Years Gone By. So obviously that's a reference to the very first episode of The Walking Dead ever, titled Days Gone By, right? But it's been years since Rick and Michonne have seen each other. I think it's awesome. I think it works really well. I think the first 3 episodes being called that is just, I mean, again, I think it works really well. And this episode should focus on Michonne's perspective with everything. Like, that kind of seems to be what it's going to be. It's going to be Michonne's perspective on, I guess, trying to find Rick, right? And we're probably going to pick up around the time of her leaving Alexandria and all of that, and we'll see her obviously, you know, meet that new group that she was with. We're probably going to learn a lot more about that group, some of the new characters that she will meet, and see what she has been up to over the last couple of years and what her, you know, just what her life has been like over the last however many years, ever since she left Alexandria. And then I think it's going to build up, obviously, to her. I'm guessing she sees a CRM helicopter and then they take it down, obviously, and then she reunites with Rick, right? It's going to be interesting because we're going to see it from a different perspective. We're going to see Michonne's perspective on everything, and I wonder if there's going to be connections that we can make afterwards. Like, once we watch episode 2, if we can see certain scenes that happened in episode 1 and how that was like connected to stuff happening with Michonne. I wonder if they're going to be doing things like that. I don't know, but they are obviously going to build up to the moment of Rick and Michonne seeing each other at some point in the episode. Now, I will say, I hope the episode doesn't end that way. That is the only concern I have about episode 2, is that it's going to end basically with Michonne finding Rick, and it's basically the same exact ending that we got for episode 1. That is my only concern here, because if that's the case, then yeah, it'll be cool to see what Michonne's up to, but it's going to end kind of in a boring way, because I mean, it's the same ending we just got, so it's just, okay, now we gotta wait another week to see what happens, right? That's my only worry about that, but I will say, based off of the trailer, there's a shot here of Rick, and it looks like he's back in his I guess, apartment at the CRM. So I think they are going to go back, so I'm not really worried about that, but yeah, you never know, I guess, right? And so, yeah, we do see a lot of shots here of Michonne trying to find Rick, and I just think that, again, it's kind of funny, though, because in the trailer, there's literally scenes of just from her final episode, so I think that kind of shows us what this episode's really going to be about, right? It's going to focus a lot on just what Michonne has been up to, and it's really going to start around that point. We're probably going to get flashbacks to that, because in episode 1, we did get a lot of flashbacks, which I will say, that was kind of unexpected. A lot of flashbacks to things that happened in the past. And, you know, I guess that makes sense with what they were saying. Like, Gimple, everyone, you know, they've been saying, you don't have to watch The Walking Dead in order to watch this. If you want to just start off with watching the show, you can. The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live is, it's a horror apocalypse show. You know, it's about a husband and wife trying to find each other. They've been separated for years. And if you just kind of go based off of that, you know, it's entertaining in itself. You don't need to know everything that happens on The Walking Dead and all that. And I guess that's kind of true, because they cut to a lot of flashbacks of things. And that's what I will say. They say that, but then there's also flashbacks. So they're trying to show you little things, right? Like trying to remind you, oh, this happened and whatnot. But yeah, we're obviously going to be getting that more here in episode 2. We do see a new character here. His name is Nat. What we know about him is that he's really good with like pyrotechnics and stuff. And so considering what happened at the end of episode 1 with the helicopter getting taken down and all that, I think that had to do with Nat here. And there's a shot of Michonne where she does have that weapon where she sort of shoots that like missile or whatever, and it blows up a bunch of the walkers down there. I think that that's probably what they use on the helicopter. I think it's going to be Nat and Michonne. They most likely use that obviously on the CRM helicopter, and that helicopter had Rick in it, so they were so lucky with that. I mean, also you could have killed Rick, but like, yeah, I think that's probably going to be how it plays out, to be honest. That's kind of what I'm assuming at this point. We do have a shot here of this farm or whatever this is here. I'm guessing this is where Michonne is staying. I thought this was from like way later in the show. I thought this was like episode 4 or 5. At this point, they've escaped or they're trying to get away. And now they're trapped here, and like, where do they go now kind of thing. And no, that's not the case at all. This is basically, I guess, where Michonne is staying, which I will say on that, I mentioned it before. That's kind of why I believe there's most likely going to be a season 2 here, is because if they do escape at this point, if Rick and Michonne just get away and that's it, they're sort of leaving the CRM behind and everyone there that's trying to fight for a better future, right? And Rick has been brought in by Okafor to start this rebellion. Yes, Okafor died, but obviously Pearl wants to do that. They all still want to do that, right? So we're going to pick up with that storyline at some point. I don't know when, episode 3 maybe. And so we'll see where that goes. But Rick can't just leave everyone here, right? And so I wonder if that's going to be where they go. They try to escape at first, but there's a bunch of stuff that happens. They try to, do whatever, but then they go back because they're like, we're going to try and make this a better place kind of thing, right? I wonder if that's sort of the start here, is basically it's the rise of this rebellion within the CRM. And maybe it's set in Portland. I have no idea. We see this one shot of Rick here. This is a newer shot, but that basically confirms to me that, again, Rick is going to be in this episode more than we think, because there's this shot of him here, which the lighting here, it seems very similar to the shot of him and Michonne reuniting. So it's probably, around this time. He's looking the other way. So I'm just wondering if maybe he heard something. Maybe he knows the CRM are on their way. Again, could sort of relate with everything here. We see the CRM actually attack Michonne and her group here. And this is where I think the 2 other characters are going to die. I've always assumed that they were going to die because it doesn't seem like they're in any shots that are happening later on. And I think they're probably all going to die in this episode here. I think Nat should survive though, but the other 2 characters I think are for sure going to be gone. And yeah, we see the CRM attacking Michonne and her group here. This is very important because this is how Michonne learns of the CRM, right? She's probably going to learn that they're flying somewhere, that something's going on or whatever. And that's how she eventually finds Rick, right? So I will say, though, I don't know if she finds out anything about him being alive or whatever, because when she sees Rick, it's shocking to her, right? She wasn't expecting seeing him there. So I think it's going to be something that she's just sort of trying to find as many clues as she can, and then she just kind of randomly comes across them. And then we just get a bunch of shots here of Michonne killing walkers and whatnot, and it looks like she's doing some sort of interview or something like that. So I wonder if that's with the CRM, if she gets taken there, or is that with the group that she was with? Is she telling a story? Is this show, or not the show, but is this episode going to be told in a similar way to how, in the first episode, Rick was basically telling his backstory? I'm assuming that's probably going to be how it's done. It's going to be done probably in a very similar way. And again, like I do like the structure of all of it. I really do. At first, I wasn't sure of it, but I do like the structure of how they handled all of this here. Because of how much they have to kind of get into, the episodes just aren't boring to watch. So episode 2 looks really good. I'm so excited for that episode. I just, to learn more about what's going on, to spend more time with all the reunions and stuff like that, just to see what's going on here. It's really awesome, honestly. Like, when Rick reunites with Daryl one day, because I'm assuming it will happen, and like all the other characters, I hope it's done in a similar way where it's not like the reunion just happens all in one episode. I want it to happen at some point earlier on and then just spend some time with it. I think the Rick and Michonne reunion, it's being told properly. They're spending so much time just around this, this timeline here, focusing on like this big moment. They're not just making it a thing where they see each other, oh, this is crazy or whatever, and then they just move on with the story, right? They're spending a lot of time here, a lot of the episode here, a lot of this first season just focused on the moment they find each other and how amazing that is, and just what their story is, building to that moment and whatnot. So I'm very, very I'm happy with how everything is turning out. But definitely post all your thoughts down below. I will be posting a video on the Rick and Michonne reunion after this, so stay tuned for that. That'll be coming out the second the episode is over, so yeah, stay tuned for that. But post all your thoughts down below. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.